Hey guys, it's Danconia and welcome back to Overwatch. So, not so long ago we were talking about the patch that went live on August the 13th, which was the, I'm going to call it the Halt Radius nerf patch, because that's probably the biggest change in the entire patch, nerfing Orisa basically into the ground. And we discussed what the patch was like, but we didn't discuss whether it was good for Overwatch, because, well, first of all, I could have gone on about it for ages, but the big thing with this patch is it's kind of about us into a whole Zarya sort of thing. And it's turned competitive into a very brawly environment, a deathmatchy sort of environment that doesn't have too much structure right now. And that could be debated as, is it right for Overwatch? And I used the analogy in that video of saying it's like having, when you've got a shield tank, when you've got a barrier tank, a main tank, you've got this whole team is like an ice cube. And as soon as you take that barrier tank away, that shield tank, that main tank, the ice melts and it just becomes this fluid, this water that just is all over the place and there's no structure to it. And that's what it is right now. And is that good for Overwatch? Now, between that video and this video, we've had another patch, or an experimental patch, I should say. This is not live, this is on the experimental card. And it's talking about power. So what it's done is armor, in general, beam type damage reduction against armor health pools increased from 20% to 30%. So armor is slightly more effective against beams now. Also, there have been a raft of changes to a lot of heroes. So Ana has had her ammo reduced, Ashe has had her ammo reduced, and her secondary fire damage down sights reduced. Baptiste has had his secondary fire grenades ammo reduced. He's had his regenerative burst nerfed quite substantially as well for his team, but also he's had a little bit of a change to allow it to heal him more. Junkrat's frag launcher has been nerfed in terms of impact damage. McCree's Peacekeeper has had its primary fire recovery rate increased from 0.42 to 0.50. The Moira changes are quite substantial, so this Moira change is very weird for a lot of people, I think, but this is making Moira a faster hero. I think this is what this is meant to do. And all of these changes, we will talk about in a minute, are designed at making Overwatch more FPS based and faster. So with Moira healing, the lingering heal effect, so how long it stays on after she stopped, doing it. After she stopped healing, it lingers for a while, and this is the duration, so it's been halved. It's been reduced from 4 seconds to 2 seconds. Total healing from 65 down to 35. So she has to be using her healing for longer, is basically what I mean. And it doesn't stay on them after she's finished for as long. Healing per second has been increased though from 65 to 70, but her consumption rate for her healing has been increased. So she uses it more, but there's more, it does more, but she uses more of her meter because of that. So there's a give and take there. But the damage, so the attach angle has been reduced by 37%. This was a change that was on the past experimental card, I think. So she has to aim more with her grasp now to do damage. It's more accurate. And then the healing resource gain has been increased by 50%. So she gains a lot more resource on her meter from damaging now. But she has to be more accurate with it. So this is kind of a give and take again, saying, well, you have to be accurate, but providing you're accurate, you'll get rewarded. So it's making Moira more skillful. It's also making her it's making her faster. And she has to be doing more. So that's what that lingering thing is about. It's saying, well, you can't just go, zzz, and then, that was a Tesla sound, but I don't know what else. I don't go, psst, because that sounds wrong. So she just gives it out right now, and then it just lingers for a bit. And I'll say this in Overcoach, I'll say, don't just keep spraying it. Don't keep spraying it and spraying it and spraying it. Spray it for a little bit, let it go, let it linger, then spray it, because you'll manage your meter better. So this is changing that and saying, no, you're going to have to use more of it. And so you're going to have to be changing from damage to healing a lot more. You're going to have to be doing more. You're going to have to be proactive. You're going to have to keep being fast about things. And it's all about, for want of a better expression, increasing your APM, your actions per minute. That's what it's about. It's making the game faster, more engaging, and it's making basically players do more. So, moving to Orisa, the radius of her ult has been increased from 4 to 5. I think this is because I am in agreement that I think they nerfed Holt a little bit too harshly, but the projectile speed has been reduced from 30 to 25, so that's back to, I believe, what it originally was? No, it was originally 20, so they've halved the change. I think that's pretty sensible, and I think that might put Orisa in a pretty decent place. Farah's rocket launcher recovery has been increased. Symmetra's photon projector's secondary fire has had its max damage reduced. Now, Widowmaker we're on to now. This is a massive change. Her max ammo has been increased for the Widow's Kiss. But the secondary fire, this ammo cost has been increased from 3 to 5 when scoped. Not only that, she now has damage fall off. Scoped shots will now have up to 50% damage fall off from 60 to 85 meters. Now, on paper that seems like a massive change to Widowmaker. But what we have to realize is how many times is she going to be taking a shot from 60 to 85 meters from her target? Probably not all that often. Not a lot of maps have got that amount of sightline to actually give you that opportunity. For example, you would probably have to be shooting from the spawn of Junkertown and hit someone at the first point for that to come into effect. So it has to be a pretty darn long range shot for it to be in effect. It's going to be an interesting Widowmaker change, and I think it's something that some people have wanted to see and some people haven't. It's going to be interesting to see whether that goes through. And then Zarya has had a secondary fire on her particle cannon ammo cost increased, so that's a nerf to Zarya as well. But the general consensus throughout that experimental patch there is to reduce power. It is to reduce the amount of damage going out. It is to reduce the amount of healing going out. And I think both of these patches, not only the current life patch but the experimental patch, are all in reaction to power creep, which we've had discussions about before. And I think this is Blizzard addressing it in quite a severe way. So the only problem with this experimental patch is there's no changes to Hog, which still makes him very, very powerful. But is this good for Overwatch? That is the question we are answering in this video, or we are discussing in this video, I should say. I can't answer it because that's a highly opinionated view. But I think I like the way in which the devs are going. They are not afraid right now to make very drastic changes that will absolutely blow up a meta, like it did Double Barrier. Those Orisa changes, especially, blew up that meta. Absolutely blew it up. The Hog changes were perhaps a step too far, but I like the ballsiness of the devs to do that, because I think in the past, especially going back to 2019, before that, they were not proactive enough in changes, and that's why we were in goats for so long. And I think the devs have learned, and if so, that is very good news, and it provides us with very good optimism for the future in terms of what they will do if we get into sort of situations like this again. I'm hoping they won't leave Hog too long, because otherwise I'm going to have to eat my words. These changes, they are very drastic, and they make the game unstable. Is that a good thing? I think it makes Overwatch engaging. Everyone will have their opinions. DPS will love the changes in the retail patch, but they probably won't love the changes in the experimental patch. Tank players will not like the retail changes, but they will like the experimental changes. So there's give and takes with everything. As a tank player myself, I would like to see Reinhardt giving back his 2000 HP barrier. But is that right? Possibly with the damage nerf that's coming out now, maybe not. I would like to see Roadhog changes. Is that right? I think everyone would be on the consensus that Roadhog needs to be adjusted. So there are opinions across the community. And one thing the Blizzard devs will never be able to do is please everyone. Whatever you say with Overwatch, whatever you say, it will never, ever, ever be balanced. It is impossible to balance Overwatch. Because when you talk about Overwatch, and I've talked about this before, when you talk about Overwatch and Overwatch balance, What do you see in balance? Well, balance technically would mean that every single hero is viable. And I'm sorry, metas exist and they always will exist. Even during role queue, even during hero pools, which now don't exist. In competitive anyway. Metas exist. There will always be the most powerful heroes at a certain point. So, Overwatch will never be perfectly balanced where you can say, well, what support duo do I want to play today? I've got all of the support duos, all of the support players to choose from, and all of them will be just as good as each other. Same for tanks, same for DPS. They will never ever, Symmetra will never be the same power as Ashe and McCree and Widowmaker, because they are inherently different heroes, and they suit different metas. So, I believe that it's better for the devs to be proactive and change things on a regular basis so that we are not stuck in metas like GOATs or Double Barrier for an extended amount of time where people get bored of it and play the same heroes over and over and over again. I believe it will be great if the devs are proactive like they are now, and they continue to change things, and we continue to have different and wild and wacky metas. We have been in Zarya Roadhog for a couple of weeks now. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks that'll change, because there'll be another patch that comes down the line, and Roadhog will be nerfed. And then we'll be saying, wow, what is the meta now? Zarya's being nerfed for our ammo cost on experimental. Will Shield still be meta? Will we go to Hog and Bull maybe? Because Zarya's been nerfed? Who knows? We've got the Overwatch League playoffs coming up. And they might find something completely different that everyone will suddenly start running. There is a certain amount of unpredictability to the patches that are coming out for Overwatch right now. And I'm all for it. I really am all for it. I just hope that even if there are problems, like Roadhog, like Brigitte has been for quite a while, if there are problems with these patches, I hope the Overwatch devs are proactive in changing them. Don't be afraid. That's what I want the Overwatch devs to do. And if they continue to patch the game like this, make it interesting, make it very, very variety based, make it very, very fluid, the game becomes more engaging and more people will want to play it. And that will be crucial to the success of Overwatch 2. Whenever that decides to come out, whether that's the end of this year alongside new console releases, next gen console, or whether that be 2021, it will be absolutely pivotal to its success, because a constantly updated, constantly refreshing, constantly different game is always engaging. And if it gets stale, the meta gets stale, stuff like that, it will never work. It will never maintain its player base, because people get bored. New games come out and they're like, why am I still playing this? I'm playing the same thing over and over and over and over again. What's the point? Let's go and play something different. That's why some games excel at it. Like Fortnite. It has a season, and then it changes. Whether it's a map change, or, just story-based change, anything. It's a change, and it engages people again. All of a sudden, when a new Fortnite season comes out, people are asking, oh, what's a new Fortnite season like? When Overwatch comes out with a new event, it's like, oh, Overwatch has got its event again. Okay. Because we know what's going to happen. And that's why I like the slight unpredictability of Lucio Ball this year, where it had some changes as well. I think that freshened it up slightly. And not going to lie, I played a fair bit of it. So, I think these changes are good for the game, as much as I don't like them in some respects. I don't like Hog Zarya. I'd love D.Va to be meta. I'd love Reinhardt to be meta. Those are my two most favourite tanks. Not going to lie. I hate Mei. I wish Mei was completely unplayable. But that is my personal opinion. There are people that love playing Mei. There are people that love playing Sombra. There are people that love playing Moira. There are people that absolutely despise D.Va. There are people that despise Reinhardt. And that is their opinion. All I want is a fluid, changing meta in competitive that keeps people engaged and allows people to play a wealth of heroes from time to time. They don't always have to be able to play those wealth of heroes every single time, every single game they go in. But if I'm playing Reinhardt this week, that's a bad example. If I'm playing Roadhog this week, or Zarya, in 2-3 weeks time, I want to be saying, well, we're here and we're playing D.Va, or we're playing Reinhardt, because that's the meta now. Then in 2-3 weeks after that, the meta's changed and we're playing Sigma, or we're playing Orisa. I know I'm using tanks as an example, but it goes for all of the roles. So that's what I would like. Constantly moving, constantly engaging. And that's why I think these drastic changes, although they might be startling to a lot of people, and they might cause a lot of controversy, I still think they are a step in a very, very good direction from the Overwatch devs. And I would like to see more of it. And, from my, the only hero I see right now as a major, major problem is Roadhog. And hopefully they will do something to change that. And I think they will, given them a few weeks or so. Because we've got 2 very quick experimental changes that have come through here. And I think we might get another one fairly soon. So, I'm hyped. I think these changes are great for the game. And that's the discussion I wanted to have for today. Leave your opinions in the comments below. Because I am really, really interested. Really interested in your opinions. And I think it'll be a really interesting discussion. Certainly will be interesting. And I've got some stuff in the pipeline for Overwatch as well. Base Overwatch, not just Overwatch Esports, base Overwatch that we might do somewhere down the line. But that's for another day. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.